Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is November 4th, 2025. I've got 4 cards for you. Whether you're watching this live or catching the recording, the tarot world wants you to see these 4 cards. So let's go to the tarot cam. All right. In case you're new to the show, everybody, I'm going to throw some cards for the audience right now, a special general message for everybody. And then about 25 or 30 minutes from now, I'm going to do audience tarot readings. You can request a reading in the chat by typing in all capital letters, tarot, please. You can hit the top fans button. If you hit the top fans button, I'm going to assume that you want a tarot reading. And then meanwhile, before we get there, there's going to be a little interlude where I'm going to share some things that I've learned. So here we go. We're going to start off today with the gold and black foil deck, which was requested last night when I was on the Typical Skeptic podcast. Or was that last night or 2 nights ago? But I didn't see it until I read the chat after the show. We're going to go ahead and get started with this special, beautiful deck. Look at the back of that card. Wonder if I could throw some more lights on the subject here. All right, so let's unbox this deck. We're going to put the guidebook away for now. And these are just spare cards. All right. Then we're going to start shuffling very carefully with these cards because they slide everywhere. And we're going to invite the tarot world to share with us a special, helpful, inspiring message. 4 cards, please, for all the great StarCard podcast viewers, whenever they're watching it. Can we please have 4 cards, a very helpful, special message? You probably, tarot world, being so astute and observant and knowing all that you do, you're probably going to give us a message that goes along with what I'm going to present in the next 20 minutes. Nevertheless, we gratefully accept. Whatever message you send us, please send us 4 cards to inspire us and make us feel better. And it looks like this top card couldn't wait to come out. Then we're going to cut them. Then we're going to fan them very carefully because they're already starting to slip. And then I'm going to pull that one off the bottom. There's our 4 cards, everybody. Our 4 shining cards. I'm going to prove that I'm a real tarot card reader now because these cards do not have words on them. So I really got to know my stuff, right? Okay, so first up, our 4 cards for today. And it's an inspirational message. We start with the 2 of Pentacles, who talks about juggling things, paying attention to more than one thing at a time that actually relates. So paying attention to more than one thing at a time. I'm trying to get the right light for you here, everybody, because I want you to see in the background. Here we go. Yeah, I think you could see it now. Wait. All right. In the background, you see that there are rough waves on the ocean, and there are 2 boats riding those waves. There's a lot of people in those boats. They're probably maybe a little queasy because there's a lot to pay attention to with the 2 of Pentacles. Multiple priorities. Next up. Oh, another deuce. It's the 2 of Wands. And the 2 of Wands says that you've been planning for this for a long time and you have good plans. The universe approves of those plans. You have the green light, go. And also, you might notice that the water in this image is calmer, isn't it? It's a calmer sea. It's a good time to set sail. Next up, wow. It's a real challenge for me. It's the 5 of Cups. It's the card of disappointments, Look at this guy. He's staring at the 3 cups on the ground. He's not paying attention to the 2 cups that are standing up straight behind him. Okay. By the way, there is a bridge over the water, and there's a structure in the distance. And he's not even thinking about crossing the river and getting to that structure. Maybe that affords some safety for the night. He's just hung up on those 3 cups. But there's a whole world around him that can serve him. If he looks around, he can make use of any of those things around him, the bridge, the building, and the other cups that are standing up. So even though we have good plans, we have to be able to think on our feet. Okay. That's part of being prepared. And then finally, our 4th card. Oh, and your mission is done. It's the world. I always mention how much I admire looking at this card. It's such a lovely image. Anyway, there you are. It's the world card. It suggests completion, accomplishment, arrival, a celebration of life. So let's recapitulate, shall we? Okay. You started off with a lot of things going on. You're paying attention to a lot of things. There were some rough seas, but you had a good plan and the universe backed you. And so they gave you the green light and you went for it. Or maybe the dynamic is that you should go for it. And then while you're going for it, okay, don't forget, you need to look past the things that are disappointing. Those things are only temporary. You've got cups still standing up behind you. You've got a bridge. You've got a place to go. Okay, you have a plan. So don't let the small things trouble you. And then guess what? You're going to complete your mission, says the world card. Hey, thank you very much, Tarot World. That was a lot of fun. All right, I see some people in the chat already. I'm so happy that you joined me so early in the morning. And I'm going to give these a quick toss. And I'm going to share things I've learned. I learned a word. It was a long time ago. Oh, well, anyway, let's get the lights changed here. We'll go upstairs. I think I got the camera angle right. Okay, so a long time ago, I discovered a word. It was the word epiphany, epiphany. And it seemed like a word that I would get along with and I want to learn more about. And so what I think I'm doing today is that I'm sharing epiphanies with you, things that I think help set me straight on my path. And if I share it here on the World Wide Web, if it helps somebody else, that's great too. Naturally, because I'm Breakaway Ray, I've got an academic side to it, and I've given it a lot of thought, and I've got some notes to share. So the first thing I want to do is remind you that we're all in November. I'm spelling it with a K. Let's make that a good thing. We're in November, and November is a month of gratitude, and I shared many messages of gratitude yesterday from Oscar Wilde and Joan Rivers and Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman statesman from about 2,000 years ago, and I didn't have time to share Yogi Berra. That's right. I'm going to bring back Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra was the catcher for the New York Yankees during many of their championship seasons in the 1950s and 60s. There was one season when Yogi Berra only struck out 5 times total. He's quite a remarkable player. He became a broadcaster, a sportscaster. He used to call the Yankee games after he retired from baseball, but he never lost his wit, and he always had a good quip. So I've got here, I wrote it down for myself. Yogi Berra, on the occasion of his Baseball Hall of Fame induction in 1972. So obviously, having played so wonderfully as he did, with so many wonderful players and against so many wonderful players, and being in the public eye and having thousands of fans, here's what Yogi Berra said on the occasion of his Baseball Hall of Fame induction in 1972. Yogi Berra said, open quote, "I just want to thank everybody." Oh, I messed it up. I'm going to start over. I was supposed to say everyone. Let's try that again, because I might edit it, right? Okay, here we go again. Yogi Berra, on the occasion of his Baseball Hall of Fame induction in 1972, said, and I quote, "I just want to thank everyone who made this day necessary." Close quote. All right. Thank you, Yogi Berra. And now I want to remind everyone about what Marcus Aurelius had to say So we're going to go back downstairs and take a look at some cards and notes I prepared. Here we go. Lights. Almost. Hang on. All right. So anyway, here's the quote from Yogi Berra. And then here's the quote that I shared yesterday from Marcus Aurelius, who lived from the years 121 to 180. Marcus Aurelius said, "Gratitude is the parent of all virtues," and that's where I'm going today. And I want to share with you an overview by using 4 of the 12 laws of karma. That's right, 4 of the 12 laws of karma apply to the dynamic I want to share today. First of all, law number 7, we move forward only by focusing on one thing. Remember, we just saw the 2 of Pentacles, multiple priorities, right? Well, let's just focus on one. Okay. Number 2 of the 12 laws of karma, law of creation. Life happens when we actively make it happen. Life never happened to couch potatoes, okay? So you got to get out there and make it happen. If you don't like the way things are going, go out there and do something different. Let's move on with that same idea. Law number 3 of the 12 laws of karma, law of growth. To change the world, change yourself first. So if you've been around StarCard Podcast for a while, you know about the Hermetic sciences, and the way you think on the inside is what projects out in the world around you. So if you want to change and if you want to grow and you want to change the world, it starts on the inside. And then finally, number 9 seems super obvious. I've been here a million times. The law of here and now. Living in the past blocks our present happiness. And lots of us can identify with that. I had a member of my family who for many years, well, several members of my family for many years, who couldn't let go of things that happened long ago. Even when they were in their childhood, they still remembered it decades later. And that does interfere with how happy you can be right now, right? So with all those thoughts in mind, all those ideas in mind, I'm going to switch camera angles and then talk about what I want to present as epiphanies of mine to share. All right. So I think I like this light over here. Okay, so first of all, hang on one second. I don't like this fluorescent light. It's not the same as the incandescent light. It's like I can't win. In this case, you know, one side of my face looks like it's the surface of Mercury. And then this one, you could see like all the blemishes in my complexion. It makes me look like I've been living near Chernobyl for a few years. Well, that's not so bad right now. Let's move on here. Stop making fun of myself. So, you know, when you're driving a car, for those of you who do drive cars, or you know what it's like, or you've been in a car, and you know it's a big responsibility if you're driving a car or a bus. And there's always something going on in the periphery, isn't there? That's why they give horses who pull carriages in the city those blinders, right? So they don't get distracted or startled by whatever's going on in the periphery. So nevertheless, you're driving your car. Maybe you're driving your car down the road. You see someone's got to fix a tire. Maybe you see someone who's riding on the bumps because they're not paying attention to what they're doing. You could see people with their blinkers on, changing lanes. But the whole point is you're driving a car, you're operating a vehicle, and you need to make sure you stay on the correct road, right? You need to keep going in the right direction. So if you think about all the times you've ridden in a car or ridden in a train and you've seen something unusual from the window, how often do you retain a memory of that and think about it every single day? Let's say, for example, I'm just making this up. You're driving along and you see some guy on the sidewalk and he accidentally falls off his bicycle. Now, are you going to be troubled about that for the rest of your life? Waking up every morning, thinking about that guy that kind of messed up your whole voyage to work that day with that image of him falling hilariously off his bicycle. I hope he didn't get hurt. but now I can't stop thinking about it. I'm perseverating, thinking about this one thing. I'm living in the past. Okay. It was otherwise a normal, happy, serious day. And then all of a sudden this clown fell off his bike. I'm sending mixed messages. I hope the person didn't get hurt. No one got hurt in my imagination. I'm just pretending right now. I'm actually trying to get everyone to pay attention to the fact that you're still focused on this one person from a long time ago, whether it was one person or some unfortunate fender bender you saw on the road, or maybe some jaywalker who almost had a run-in with a car. You got to let it go, okay? And you can't. And maybe that's your hang up right now. You're still hung up. You're not looking at silver linings. You're focused on something from the past. It's messing up your 12 laws of karma. All right, where do you go with that? We're just giving a harmless example here, more or less harmless. I'm pretending it's all my imagination, but here we are. We're setting the stage for my play. How does it play out? How do I shake this out of my brain? What do I do? Well, there's other laws of karma that do apply. And also, I've got some notes on this. Let me check. Yeah, I pretty much did a good job with page 1 here. I wrote things like, it's time to fight perseveration. Is there something or someone preoccupying your mind? Obviously, it's time to let it go. You're probably the only one who still remembers it, or still remembers it the right way, the way it really happened, right? Okay. And this whole situation, even just thinking about it, is not lifting you up. So what do you do? All right, on to number 2. Yeah, what do you do? Well, you follow the path of virtue. Yeah. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that gratitude is the parent of all virtues. So what would you do? You could ask yourself a question. What would Jesus do? What would God say you should do? What would Source encourage you to do? And if you pause and think, I mean, you got the 2 of Pentacles going, put down one of those pentacles. Just think about one thing here. Here's my situation. Dear God, what would you do in this situation? What would God want me to do? Source, what do you recommend? Okay? And if you get used to asking yourself questions like that, your intuition gets used to answering back. And you'll be surprised. You'll be developing your intuition, and you'll hear answers from the inside that you didn't think were there and didn't sound like they came from you in the first place. So that's a place to start. Ask yourself, well, what would Source want me to do? What's the right thing? Source is not going to tell me something that takes me off my path. And I didn't come to Earth for no reason, and I need to stay on the path for whatever that reason is. So Source, how should I handle this? I'm going to be a much better person. I'm going to be able to deliver your message to people. I'm going to be able to help other people, but I got to shake this baggage, this mental baggage, this person or event that's taking up free space in my brain. Come on, Breakaway Ray, help me out. What do I do? All right. So another thing that Marcus Aurelius said, he says that when you come to an obstacle, it is no longer your obstacle. Consider it your new path. Bounce off of it. So I thought in my mind of the great basketball player, Earvin Magic Johnson. You know, they could throw up whatever defense they could against him. And, you know, if they had one guy standing here and one guy standing here, it didn't matter, because if you set up an obstacle here and an obstacle here, Magic Johnson just found the part that you're not covering. And either he's going to weave his way through, or he's going to throw a pass and you have no idea how to handle it because you don't know what to do. So Magic was always looking, you know, his name is even Magic, right? Magic is when you're always looking at the obstacle as the place to jump off and make a new path and score a new basket, right? I'm thinking now also of retiring athletes. For example, Joe Namath. I do believe Joe Namath is still alive. Joe Namath won a Super Bowl way back in the 1970s with the New York Jets. But I don't want to see Joe Namath playing for the New York Jets now. It might still be an improvement, but Joe Namath shouldn't be playing quarterback, and he figured it out just in time, right? He ended his career and he went on to other things. So good for Mr. Namath. Let me see if I've got some other notes on page 2 here. Oh, yeah. From my own personal point of view, when I was much younger and I was in college the first time, I was a camp counselor. I got to tell you, I really loved that job. That was a lot of fun. However, I'm glad I'm not a camp counselor anymore. I'm glad I wasn't a camp counselor for 40 years. I say God bless to people who are camp counselors for however long they do it. You found your path, you found your calling. That's great. Being a camp counselor for me was just an adventure, a short adventure, but it was well worth it and a lot of fun. But again, it's not what I was here to do. It's not my path. It was something I needed to experience though, and I learned a lot from it. And something else I thought about is if you've been following along a little bit with Breakaway Ray for the last couple of months, you might know that, I've applied for different jobs, and I only ever really got one job, and then they had to try really hard to invite me to leave. Not getting into it right here. You can watch other videos to learn more about that. Anyway, I thought about the places where I interviewed and I didn't get the job. And it turns out like that was a blessing in disguise, right? I should be thankful I didn't get that job in the other school district, or I didn't get the job that I thought I was going to get and was going to turn things around for me. In many ways, my path was illumined in another direction. And maybe that whole business of my past career was just a setup for what I'm doing now, right? I always have to ask, what would source have me do in this situation? And how can I take this obstacle and turn it into a new path? All right, let me see what else I got here. Yeah, so I just mentioned jobs, but I would say the same thing goes for interpersonal relationships. How many times have I thought, gee, it sure would be nice, that young lady sure seems like a nice person. I'd like to hang out with her more, but it never worked out. And, as time went on, I'm kind of like breathing a sigh of relief, because that's a lot of commitment and a lot of work when you're trying to blend lives together with other people. It takes a lot of empathy, it takes a lot of patience, and a lot of compromise. And a lot of people would say, Ray, you don't have to compromise at all. You're kind of lucky that way. Well, it was a trade-off, right? It was a balance. Anyway, I'm going to move on with my notes. Number 3, yes. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that gratitude is the parent of all virtues. So start by being grateful, even being grateful that it's not worse, right? Thank goodness, it could be worse and it wasn't. So I learned that the country of Denmark is one of the happiest countries in the world, apparently. And that's because, according to what I heard, people in Denmark expect the worst. And when it doesn't happen, they are pleasantly surprised. It's good philosophy, right? Okay. Don't forget to be pleasantly surprised. All right. So here are some of my ideas. If you find yourself in a funk, God helps those who help themselves. Pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. What do? You got something on your mind? So I have some suggestions. Start with gratitude, and all the other virtues will fall into place for you, including the virtuous path that you're supposed to follow. Use your imagination. Now, it's great if you want to sit and just imagine things, but then you can also do other things like draw pictures. You can draw silly pictures. My preference is to write, and to write silly stories sometimes using my imagination. In one way or another, I invite you to create. I used to have a neighbor, and I believe he was in the military, and he was a single dad, and he had a couple of kids at his house. And at the same time, with all those things going on, he had a job and everything. That guy was always improving his house. He was always like souping it up. And it was hard to keep up with the Joneses. And I just threw in the towel. I mean, he was down the street or whatever, and he was building an RV space, and he was doing it all himself. He didn't hire out. He was a very resourceful man. He was saving himself a lot of money. But that's the guy who's creating. He's all, this is the image I have of my home. And this is what I want it to look like. I'm going for it. I'm keeping myself busy. That sounds better to me, cleaning the house, making it look like the way you want, saying thank you to the things that you don't need anymore, and politely disposing of them. All those things are greater exercises and healthier for your brain than sitting on the couch, even with the TV on, ruminating and grumbling that you're still thinking about that thing that cheesed you off a long time ago, right? Get on the positive side. All right, some other ideas. I like both of these. Take a walk. Take a walk. By the way, if you like bilateral tapping, the action of walking is bilateral, isn't it? Go take a walk. I apologize for repeating myself, and it sounds like I'm bragging, and I should, right? I had a grandfather who lived to 103 years old, and one of his tricks was he would take a walk every day. Sometimes he would take a walk twice a day. He was a mail carrier, so he was doing some walking. Anyway, he lived a good long time. While he was walking, he prayed. Okay. Another thing he loved to do, sing a song. Again, I encourage you all, you know what? You down in the dumps, sing a song. If you're like me, sing some of those songs that people used to listen to during the Depression in the 1930s. Some Ella Fitzgerald and some Louis Armstrong and some Bing Crosby, The Sunny Side of the Street. There's a bunch of songs, but they all have like a chipper tune to them, right? Looking at the bright side. Sing a song, everybody. Take a walk and pray. I mentioned that one again. And then I said pray, but then I also thought to myself, play. I'm not talking about video games. Go play with someone. It could be a card game. Why not throw the Frisbee around? How about a sport that everyone can do? You don't even have to be a real athlete. Bocce ball. Look it up, BOCCE. Bocce is a great game. Anyone can play, any age, and you can even play it at a barbecue with a beer in your hand. All right, have a good time playing bocce, everybody. Let's see what else I got on my notes here. Right, yeah, I mentioned this part already. Remember what Marcus Aurelius tells us. Obstacles are signposts towards new paths. So on to page 4 here. All right, I'm almost done, and I'm doing good. I'm right on time, everybody. All right, so I was going through my last career as a school teacher, and I was constantly doing things for free, not knowing it would ever become anything, not knowing I was ever going to use these in any other situation. So I just want to share these things that were going on in my life. Again, not anticipating that it was going to serve me in any way after I retired, if I ever get to retire. I'm not retired, everybody. I'm only Ray-tired. That's another story. But let's take a look at my notes here. So for 40 years, I was a writer, like I encourage all of you to write. I wrote journals, I wrote stories, I wrote poems, I wrote plays, I wrote speeches. Okay. But usually I would give the speech or the kids would do the play and it was like a one-night thing. That was it. You know, it's like no one's going to see it again. No one's going to hear about it again. I wasn't making any money off of it. I never made money off of any of that writing. That's not important right now, as it turns out. What else did I do? When it came to doing class plays, so I had to imagine the whole package. I had to write the play. I had to cast the kids in the parts. Then I had to find the time in the day to practice the play during school and, of course, still keep the school program going, which I did. And I'm not going to get into that conversation. It was a huge deal and a huge accomplishment that we were able to do the class play and excel, as indicated by our test scores in the classroom on our academics. The play, the theater, was a really beneficial activity for the students. It built esprit de corps, involved communication and cooperation. And of course, public speaking. They got over their fear of public speaking right away in 5th and 6th grade or 3rd and 4th grade. Okay, enough pat myself on the back. So I had to package the play. I had to write the play. I had to cast it. I had to practice the play while we're doing that job. We had to put on the show. I had to film it. I was the guy with the video cameras. I had a couple of cameras. I had tripods set up. And then we had to change scenes all the time. Except for the kids, maybe a couple of parent volunteers, I was part of all of those scene changes. Then I had to take all the raw footage and I had to edit it together and I put it on a CD or, excuse me, on a DVD so that the kids could take it home for a souvenir. It was awesome. But anyway, those kids would take it home, but the next year would come, I would have to do the whole thing all over again. And the people I worked with made it really interesting because the more successful I got with the play, the more they tried to stop me from doing the play by disposing of the things I use for the sets of the play and even changing my grade level without my consent so that I couldn't do the same play anymore. I just wrote another play. And what else did they do? Oh, they wouldn't give me any time to practice in the cafeteria anymore. It sounds so silly, I know. Anyway, there's an example of what life was like for me putting on class plays with the kids. I'm not working with children anymore, so I wonder what was all of it for? I'm getting there. What else did I do? Oh, throughout my life, I had an unusual penchant for studying philosophy. And then I collected a bunch of college degrees. And now that I look at it, I'm wondering, what did I do that for? How are all those degrees helping me now? That was a lot of time I spent on that. That's my initial thought. Like I was spinning my wheels, spending a lot of money, getting college degrees. I could have done other things with my time had I known what was going to happen. Anyway, let me see. Oh, yeah. As time went on in my teaching career, I was required to put together a web page for the class. And for me, at the time, I thought, gee, another thing to waste my time. The kids in my class already know what's going on. I'm already in constant contact with the families. We don't really need this, but I set it up. And then I thought to myself, there's a bunch of times when I did these funny things where I was at an assembly and I played a prank and I made everybody laugh. Maybe you saw one of the pictures I posted of me getting a cooler bath. Okay, those kinds of things. Well, I came up with the idea because I saw someone else do it. Let's get all those things as links, put them on a page, and then all the kids can look at those videos over and over again if they want to. Let them know that there's more to Mr. Breakaway than just do your homework and sit down and get ready for recess and things like that. It helped them see another part of their teacher's personality. Well, it turns out that a lot of these things that I'm talking about all apply to what I'm doing here at STARCARD Podcast now. I'm presenting philosophy. I'm putting together productions. I'm doing some editing, which seems easy to me now because I had so much practice in the past. I only have to think about what my audience is registering and following along with while I'm presenting, even if it's just me monologuing in front of a pumpkin here. So let me see what else have I got here. Oh, yeah. And then more time wasting. There was just like a lot of sabotage. I'm sure everyone else sees it in their lives, right? There's a lot of sabotage. People in your lives, they act thoughtlessly or carelessly, inconsiderately, and it makes things worse for you in a way, presents obstacles that we have to turn into new paths of success, right? So what was all that for? Well, maybe again, it was all like preparation, like the universe knew, yo, Breakaway Ray, we're going to get you in front of the camera. Now that you're not in the classroom anymore, don't throw out those ties and all those files from your lesson plans. You're going to be using them all again, and people are going to be able to click on StarCard Podcast and learn a little bit more about the stuff that you want to unteach. So always think to yourself, what's the end game here? What does Source have in mind for me? Because after all, you wrote the plan. You agreed to the plan before you came down here. Such a hard thing to swallow. Most people watching StarCard Podcast have probably had agonizing pain and trauma in their lives, and they're looking for something inspirational and helpful. And then hearing that, I planned for this to come down. Breakaway Ray, you're out of line. I'm not sure that's what's going on. I'm telling you, again, I'm sharing my epiphanies with you. I didn't want to agree with it. I'm still in a battle with my spirit guides over some things that happened with me. So I'm right there with you. Let's now ask the tarot world about, picking ourselves up by our own bootstraps, walking out of a funk, singing a song, lifting our own spirits, and let's go down to the tarot cam and ask the tarot world about it. Thanks, everybody. Oh, you can see it's getting a little bit lighter out here on the West Coast. We got some more daylight coming in. We see a lot of writing in the chat right now. I can't wait to read it after the show. Don't forget, if you want to have a reading, please type it in all capital letters. This way I can see it much better. It's hard to see with all the great writing that's going on in the chat, which I read after the show. I really do enjoy everyone's participation and input. Thank you very much. So, hey, here we go, everybody. I got a turkey for us here. It says, stop perseverating. Be grateful and go do something. How many times did your parents or grandparents say, stop moping around the house, go outside and play? By the way, how many parents can say that nowadays? Go outside and play. The kids are going to take the iPads out with them. They're going to sit down and play on the iPad. Anyway, go outside and play, everybody. Go be creative. Let your imagination run wild. It's the best thing for you. Hey, Tarot World, would you care to add to that message of go outside and play, stop moping around the house? Help us pick ourselves up from our own bootstraps. We can be our own knights in shining armor because we're in control of our consciousness. we are in control of what we're paying attention to. Hey, everybody, please pay attention to whatever you're paying attention to. These cards are for you. Stop perseverating and moping. Go outside and play. Build something. Make something. Have goals that are malleable, that you can change along the way. But by all means, have goals. If you don't have goals, time to make goals. Go play something. Go play bocce. Go take a walk. All right. Because life is short, and the last days we spend on earth, we don't want them to be, boring, humdrum days. We want some fun every day if we can. I want to get the lights right here. That's not so bad. All right, I'm cool with that. Here we go, everybody. This is from the tarot world. Stop perseverating. Be grateful. Go do something. Use your imagination. This is STARCARD Podcast. It's the Four of Wands. It's the homecoming card. I'm looking around for my magnifying glass. There it is. The Four of Wands, celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, homecoming. Wow. Seven of Pentacles. It indicates hard work, and it indicates also that you're cultivating something that's going to bloom and fruit in a very wonderful, bountiful way. Seven of Pentacles, long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, investment. Okay, center yourself, ground yourself, homecoming, set goals, look at your goals, look at your lifelong path ahead of you. Ouch, the Ten of Swords, yeah. It's the end of a painful episode. Where's that law of karma? It's the law of, hang on. Yeah, the law of here and now. Living in the past blocks our present happiness. So we're centering ourselves, we're considering our long-term goals, and we're going to live in the present. Whatever was in the past, that was the end of it. And we want to move on from this. So the Eight of Pentacles says it's going to take diligence and hard work. Meanwhile, the Emperor always reminds us that we are in control. Whatever we pay attention to is what gets attention. And by the way, while you're paying attention, resolve to make an intention. Make an intention. Okay? Imagine a positive, fruitful end to your path. Hey, the Four of Pentacles tells us to hold on to what is valuable. So you really have to consider what is valuable and important to you. But I also want to point out, you see this guy is like trapped holding on to what he thinks is valuable. What he thinks is valuable. He can't walk anywhere because if he does, he's going to take his feet off those pentacles and someone's going to take them. Also, he better have good poise because if he walks, that pentacle might fall off of his head. So sometimes if we hold too tightly onto something we already have, we're not going to make progress. So let's make sure we're holding on to the one that we really care about, like that one in the middle in his hands. And then the Six of Wands says that you can march forward as if in a parade with public recognition because you are doing the right thing. And I like the horse in this picture with his green outfit on. He looks magical to me. And, if the card was cut a little bit shorter, you might even be mistaken in thinking that might be a unicorn he's riding. So it looks like a very positive thing. Ground yourself, set a goal, let the past be the past. Work hard at whatever you're paying attention to. Hold on to only what's valuable to you. And then enjoy the public recognition. You'll be able to recognize your path. Hey, everybody. Thanks a lot for letting me share all my ideas with you this morning. And wow, did I run a little long? I'm so sorry. It is now about 40 minutes in, but I'm very happy to stay as long as you want me to so I can do some tarot readings for you, everybody. I'm now going to check the chat and see who wants a reading. Here we go. Hi, everybody. All right. Ascending Universal Butterfly. Hi, Ascending Universal Butterfly. I see you. I'm going to write you down. I'm forgetting my eye contact, right? Years of working with children. Hello, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thanks for requesting a reading. I'm writing your name down. I need a better piece of paper. It'll just take me another 20 minutes to write down Ascending Universal Butterfly. All right, let's see. Oh, hey, there's Sally Forth. Hi, Sally Forth. Sally Forth, you hit the top fans button. I'm writing it down. Sally Forth's been reading my books. Thanks, Sally Forth. That's so nice. I hope you're enjoying it. I like my 100-word overture at the beginning of that book, the big book. All right, let's see who else we got here. Right, Ascending Universal Butterfly. You want the foil deck. Got it. Good use of capital letters, everybody. Let's see who else we got here. Johnny. Hello, Johnny. Welcome back. I'm writing you down. Johnny Anderson. 700. Sounds like the new and improved version of Johnny Anderson. All right, nice. Let's see who else is here asking for a reading. I'm scrolling through the chat, everybody. Stand by, please. All right, got that one. I know that sometimes I mess up, and sometimes there's a friend in the chat who helps me. So thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so I just see the three of you right now, but that doesn't mean we can't add to the list, everybody. So if you want a reading, put it in the chat. But I've got Ascending Universal Butterfly, Sally Forth, and Johnny Anderson 700. And Ascending Universal Butterfly wanted the foil deck. And if you have a particular message you want me to explore, you could put that in the chat. I probably should have no problem seeing it. A couple of nights ago at the Typical Skeptic Podcast, someone was asking for a specific question, and I found out later on from reading the chat that we missed the question. But anyway, I think it was a good reading. It was a fun reading. So let's start with Ascending Universal Butterfly. And she wants the foil deck. This deck is so slippery. Oh, look what's on the bottom for us, Ascending Universal Butterfly. How about that? Hey, Tarot World, could you carefully show us a fun and inspiring message for Ascending Universal Butterfly, please? Thank you. A fun, helpful message for Ascending Universal Butterfly. How wonderful. Another great STARCARD podcast. These cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. A fun, helpful message for Ascending Universal Butterfly. Getting good at holding these cards. Ooh. Oh, those three? Okay. All right, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thanks for inviting me to read. Let's see what happens. Are we good on the... Yeah, all right. First up, the King of Pentacles, who talks about wealth and... trying to get best light here. That's a little bit better. There he is. The King of Pentacles is basically the guy throwing the party. He's got all the funds for a good reason. Wow. And it looks like the King of Pentacles is giving out party favors in the form of the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups talks about new life and creation and abundance. Yay. I like it when there's cards that I know a lot about. So then comes the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands says that luck is where preparation meets opportunity. The Three of Wands talks about foresight and planning. You see this guy's looking out into the distance. We're talking a lot today about foresight and planning and setting goals. So, we start off life with everything we need. The universe gives us what we need as we go along, but you also have to make plans for the future in order to make your magic, says the magician. Then, following this part of the story, here comes the Six of Swords, reminding us that you are being guided from rougher waters to calmer waters by an invisible hand, by the divine world. So, again, the divine world provides for you. You act on it. The divine world is guiding you. So you might as well celebrate, says the Three of Cups. Celebrate with your friends. Pray together. And then look at all this magic. Your magic is in the air. It's the Ace of Wands. I was thinking it was going to be hard for me because it didn't have words on the card. But Tarot World made it easy, I think. So let's not forget to be grateful for all the things the universe is providing for us. Okay? I know you're not forgetting to be grateful because you're celebrating and you're being grateful with your friends there, and you're making use of this opportunity to plan ahead to make the magic. Nice. Thanks a lot, Ascending Universal Butterfly. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. All right, next up, it's Sally Forth. All right, Sally Forth. I saw your comment recently about, you said, hey, Breakaway Ray, if you knew how accurate you were with your readings, you would never doubt yourself. And I just want to say I really appreciate that reinforcement. I mean, I hope the messages are helpful. It's one thing to be accurate, but anyway, thanks a lot, Sally Forth. I must be doing something right. You keep inviting me to do readings for you, so it's my pleasure. Here we go. How about a fun, helpful message for the very dynamic Sally Forth? Yeah, a message for Sally Forth, please. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear. Whoa. How about a message for Sally Forth, please? Fun, helpful message for Sally Forth. These cards are for Sally Forth. A fun, helpful message for Sally Forth, please. All right, great. Let's see what happens, Sally Forth. First up, all right, the Four of Cups. We've seen this card a couple of times over the last few days. It's a very complex card. There's 4 cups there. You can't dispute it. There are 4 cups. The guy sitting under the tree, it looks like he's staring at 3 cups, and he's forgetting that the universe provides the 4th cup. Let's see what it says on the Four of Cups card. Meditation, contemplation. It also says apathy, disconnected, and reevaluation. So maybe reevaluation is the card or the term we need to look at right now. Reevaluation. What is going on in the world around us? What is the universe giving me, and what am I looking at? Wow. The World card. We should have just waited and went shorter. Sounds like someone's reevaluating the world. And apparently, you're making plans for the future. I like seeing the Three of Wands card over and over again. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. Yeah, you can get lucky. You just got to keep on working at it. Eventually, the right time will come along when, you'll be able to get lucky because you'll be prepared for it. You'll be looking for it. So you're reevaluating the world around you, but you're getting ready for the world to come. And there might be some conflict involved, says the Five of Wands, but you're going to be able to see past that, says the Three of Wands. You're going to be able to see past it. So we might as well take the Five of Wands and turn it upside down. What does the reverse Five of Wands say? Avoiding conflict, respecting differences, agreeing to disagree, and diversity. Right. See past it all. Avoid the conflict. And then charge forward energetically, says the Knight of Wands. And the King of Swords says you have truth on your side. It's head over heart. and it's honest and truthful, and you have mental clarity and you're disciplined. So you were reevaluating the world, but look, in the end, you have mental clarity and you know right where to go. You can see where to go. Hey, Sally Forth, I hope that was a fun, helpful message for you. Thanks for inviting me to read. Right on. All right. And next up, it's Johnny. All right, Johnny. Could we please have a fun, helpful message for Johnny? Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and participating in the live show. But if you're watching the recording, I hope you're having a good time. Thanks again for watching the recording. Wow, Johnny. Got some cards popping out for you. So let's finish the show here. We're going to leave those two over here. Okay. The top card, the bottom. Whoa. Okay. Those bottom two cards. This one. Can I get one off the middle? All right. We got something weird going on here, Johnny. Weird and wonderful. We're going to be creative and have fun with it. First of all, what's up with these guys? Yeah, these guys, they both fell out of the deck while I'm shuffling. Nice. It's the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles talks about the fruits of your labor, and maybe the Ace of Cups was brought about by the fruits of your labor. The Ace of Cups reads love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, and marriage, with your Nine of Pentacles of fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, and financial independence. So you finally saved up enough. I mean, this is just an example, Johnny, but you finally saved up enough to, spring for that engagement ring. You're ready to start a new life. All right. Well, let's see how the rest of the story plays out. It's the Queen of Wands. Well, if there's a fiance involved, I hope it's the Queen of Wands. This lady seems like a lot of fun to me. The Queen of Wands says courage, confidence, independence, focused, zest for life, determination, and joy. Then the Six of Cups talks about nostalgia and happy memories. Wow. The Nine of Swords talks about anxiety and sleepless nights. You know I want to turn this card over. Let's see what else goes on here. Yay! It's the Four of Wands again. It's the homecoming card. And there's another celebration involved. And then there's the Two of Pentacles. This guy's juggling a couple of things at a time. So, because of the fruits of your labor, there's a new life or a new love or a new episode or adventure in front of you. It may involve a great adventure that creates memories. There may be some sleepless nights. I mean, let's face it, the things that we remember the most are the most exciting, and sometimes the most exhilarating things start off as things that might frighten us a little bit. But nevertheless, when you get home from that adventure, you're going to have plenty to talk about. Hey, Johnny, I hope that was a fun read. You're welcome. Thanks for all the soda bubble hearts and the happy faces and the emojis. Johnny and everybody else, thanks for inviting me to read. I don't see anyone else asking for a reading, which is fine. I come out here a couple of days a week. You could even reach me at my email address, which is in the description, and I can do a private reading for you if you like. In any case, it looks like I'm going to close up shop for today. I'm not sure if I'm coming out tomorrow, but you'll be hearing from me again before the week is out. I'm quite sure of that. Have a great November. Thanks for watching the show. Until next time, I'm going to miss you guys. So take it easy and have fun. All right. Thank you.